All right, let's talk about one last thing in regards to object inheritance. Now you might recall when I made a new instance of the super user, su1 equals a super user. Now this is me initializing the creation of this new object for su1, and it's of type super user. Now when I open up the parentheses, I'm not getting any of the properties that the user gets. If I create a user, let's just change this from super user to user. I open up a parentheses, right away it's asking me for F name and L name, first name and last name properties. But the super user isn't getting that. The reason this is happening, let me get rid of this. The user has a function, the init function, the initialize function, where it's gathering that information. The super user also contains an init function. Hey, right now it's not doing anything, I just passed on it, but the derived class, super user, its init function is overriding the init function of the user class. Make sense? If the derived class has the same function, it'll override its base class counterpart. And we don't have that. Well, we need to fix that because I want the init function of the super user class. As soon as somebody creates a new super user, I want to fill out the first name and last name as well. Okay? In order to do this, it's actually a very, very quick little adjustment here. So first, back down into my super user, I'm going to hop into the init function. We want to keep self there, but then I'm also going to bring down F name and L name. And let's add another one that's specific to super user. We'll call it super level. I want to know what level of super they are. All right. Now, instead of pass, because remember, pass is just a placeholder. You're not going to get an error. It's like, I'll come back to you. Let's pass it for now. Here, I'm essentially just going to make a call to the init function of the base class of the user class. So here I'll say user dot init. Now I'll bring in self, and I want to pass in the F name and the L name. There we go. So now the user init function will handle these 3 bits of information. Hands off once again, go right back up to the base class, to the user class, and do it there. All right, let's try it out. I'm going to go ahead and save this. F5. Let's create a new super user. Super user. And if I open my parentheses, there's the 3. I've got the F name, the L name, and the super level. Remember, F name and L name, even though I'm going to pass them in here, that is handled inside of the user class. So I'll bring in a name, Kyle, and last name, Pugh, and of course my super level, out of 10, I'm a 10. There it is, and I'll hit my enter key. So I've now created the super user. And if I get back in there, su1 dot, wait for it, there it is, all the functionality, not just the functionality of the super user, but I also get the full name function, which is a part of the user class. So I'll get the full name, open, close, paren, and there it is. I've now got multiple classes, but I can inherit from my super user class, inherit the user, which is the base class. And I can utilize the init function to essentially make a call to the init inside of the user. Get it to do its regular work, hand off information, do whatever you do, but then we can still get access to it because it's our base class. So try this out. Get your 2 classes in there. You can download the user file. I included that in the prior video. Download that, create your user, make sure that everything's looking good, and modify that initialize function, the init function, to hand it back off to the user class.